Okay, so I think for me the best way to start this video is just with an anecdote. I spent the last couple weeks, couple months or so of 2023 and about 3/4 of 2024 listening to Worm, which has since become like one of my favorite works of fiction. I absolutely love it. And the day that I finished Worm, I had a doctor's appointment. And as I was driving to the appointment, like I've got the story in my head, and I've got the ending in my head, and I'm thinking of it. And the song Human by The Killers plays on the radio. And as I'm sitting there and I'm listening to this song, which is a song that I know, it's a song I've always really liked. But as I'm sitting there and I'm listening to it and I'm thinking about the ending and like what happens in the climax, I started crying. And it was the only time Worm had made me cry. It was listening to The Killers while reflecting on the ending. And funny enough, the same thing happened just a few days ago. I was driving, I think I was on my way to the lake to record something, or I was just on my way into town. And then Human started playing, so I started thinking of the ending of Worm, and I got to a point where I just, started crying. I was like, okay, I get it. I need to make this dig video, because what do you know? I spent a couple weeks or so going through the Killers albums. And I feel like I need to clarify what that means, because generally what I do is I just go through, I basically go to Wikipedia and go, okay, what are the studio albums? This is what I'm going to do. So I believe the Killers have 7, but I listened to 8 because I did include Sawdust. And sometimes when it comes those kind of compilation B-side albums, sometimes I listen to them, sometimes I don't. This is one where I did. When I finished, I learned that there were 2 or 3 Christmas albums that I had missed, and if I had been aware during my marathon, I might have done it, but I was like, look, I'm already done. I think I'm good. And the live albums I didn't listen to, I tend to not do those when I do these marathons. But having done so, yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I had a really good time going through their discography. My familiarity at the start of this was Hot Fuss, which I have a copy of. It's the only Killers album I have a copy of, which I've listened to, I don't know how many times I've listened to the full album, but I feel like not a lot, but there are some specific songs I have listened to several times. Read My Mind, When You Were Young, Human, and I think Tyson v. Douglas. Weirdly enough, I don't even know how I first heard that song, but I really like it. I think those were the only Killer songs I knew going in. And like I said, having listened to all those albums, Leave the Bourbon on the Shelf, because I'd heard that before, because I was like, oh, it's the last part of the Murder trilogy. I always thought Mr. Brightside was the other part of the Murder trilogy, and having heard Leave the Bourbon on the Shelf, I think I've said this before, it's fine, but I mean, to me, Mr. Brightside does that perfectly fine, and then, Midnight Show and Jenny Was a Friend of Mine are absolutely fantastic. Anyways, I had a really good time. I really liked this. Some things that I noted are that, number one, the lyrics are, really descriptive. This is a weird thing I thought of, but, I've been reading Tolkien. Haven't done as much reading for Return of the King as I should, because doing other stuff and, watching basketball. But I've been reading Lord of the Rings, and I really enjoy Tolkien's prose and, the way that, he just describes things. And there were definitely a lot of points listening to Killer songs, some that come to mind are Dustland Fairy Tale, and I'm probably going to say this a few times throughout the video, the entirety of Imploding the Mirage, where I'm like, ooh, I really like how this is being described. This is very visual. This is so cool and so descriptive. And I really enjoyed that. I'm sorry, I just want to look at my notes. There's an energy to a lot of their songs, and Imploding the Mirage in general, and some of the other albums as well. There's this real, ethereal, spiritual energy. It's not religious, these aren't hymns, these aren't worship songs, but they almost kind of have that vibe to them. I think like Hot Fuss for the most part doesn't do this, but then you have All These Things That I Have Done, which like definitely has that vibe. And I feel like Sam's Town kind of had that in certain parts. Read My Mind, like 100% is a song that kind of has that energy. Like White Hills definitely had that kind of energy. Pressure Machine had such a fucking good opening, man. I really, really liked White Hills. Like Human has that in Day and Age. Like a lot of the albums have that kind of vibe, and I really enjoyed that. As for a favorite song, I don't have one. For me, there's kind of a holy trinity, and I feel a little bad because they're like, what do you know? It's 3 of the songs I knew going in. All These Things That I've Done, Read My Mind, and Human. Not to say that other songs that I listened to weren't good. I just named a few throughout this. But it is these 3. I've already talked about Human and how I connect it to one of my favorite stories in a way that gets me genuinely really emotional. All These Things That I Have Done is also something that connects with me with a story. It connects for me to the visual novel that I've been working on for several years now in various different ways. It makes me think of the main character of that story and his journey, just the things that, all these things that he has done. But that refrain of, I've got soul, but I'm not a soldier. Given his character and the themes of that story, it fits him so dang well that it's kind of become one of those songs where anytime I'm like, okay, like I need to work on this, which is also something I haven't worked on in a while, but I kind of want to. There are certain songs that I listen to that really get me into the vibe for it. Off the top of my head, Take Me to Church by Hozier is like the song that gets me into the mood for it. The Gray by Icon for Hire, and a recent one, oh, what is it called? It's a Rush of Blood to the Head by Coldplay. But this is another song that really does that, and this is something that's not going to happen. But every now and then, I just kind of imagine All These Things That I Have Done being what plays at the very end. And like, once you get the credits rolling, I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Partially because I don't really want to have to like go and pay the licensing fees, because that's going to be expensive, and I could maybe get away with it if I got like a cover, but I don't feel confident enough to do that cover, but I'll have to pay someone else to do that cover, and there still might have to be some licensing fees anyways, and it's gonna be kind of weird, just like, oh, this is an actual song that like people would recognize showing up, but again, it fits really well, and it's something I kind of go back and forth on. But then you have Read My Mind, which it's a song that just kind of hits me right anytime I listen to it. And while like, yeah, I don't connect it to a story that I love or a story that I'm writing, but it just does it for me. And I think I've heard Flower say something along the lines of, like, whenever we play that song live, you just feel the energy change, where it's like, it's that song. Like, Mr. Brightside, I think, is probably, I don't even know if I want to say think, it is their most well-known song. But to me, if I have to pick a favorite of these 3, I think it is Read My Mind, but the margin is, like, so paper thin that I do want to just say, like, look, it's these 3, and there's a lot of other good ones that I've mentioned, like White Hills, Dustland Fairy Tale. I don't think I've mentioned, how was it called? Like Good Night, Travel Well. I believe it's the ending track to Day and Age. It's beautiful. Jenny Was a Friend of Mine, Midnight Show. Midnight Show is a song that I have gotten a lot of mileage out of, which, in the context of what the song is about, sounds awful, but it is such a fun song to sing. It's like going on like a long night drive down the freeway, just belting it out is really fun. I have done that a non-zero amount of times. The entirety of Imploding the Mirage. Uncle Johnny I remember liking a lot of Sam's Town. I was like, okay, I'm really enjoying this Uncle Johnny song. Oh gosh, There's a song called Rut on Wonderful Wonderful that I really, really loved too. But, I know Flowers hates it, but I do have to shout out Glamorous Indie Rock and Roll, because listening to it in a different context, but in the context and the medium of video games, and just thinking about like indie games, especially last year, and just like how so many of them like took the world by storm. Like Silksong finally came out, and I didn't play it because I'm not into that kind of game, but how much people loved it. And it's like, oh my goodness, our hype levels were up here and the game's quality was up here. And then like Hades 2 was apparently amazing. I don't know if Kojima counts as indie, but he's not part of Konami anymore, but I know people love Death Stranding too. And yeah, Expedition 33, for me, it was as good as people were saying. Maybe in some aspects not as much, maybe in some aspects even better. Like, that glamorous indie, it's glamorous indie gaming for me. Which is funny, because I think I was listening, because I lived in Australia for a while, and my copy of Hot Fuss comes from Australia, so that song is on my copy of Hot Fuss, but it's not on all copies of it. It's more known for Sawdust. And what's funny is when I was listening to that song on Sawdust, I was not playing an indie game, I was playing KH3. Anyways, getting a bit distracted. But I did rank the albums. I'm not gonna go super deep into all this. I'll say the one at the bottom was my least favorite. Every other album I enjoyed. Some of them I'm like, okay, there's some songs I really remember. Other albums, like, I don't remember a lot of individual tracks, but I remember the vibe, and I really liked the vibe of the album. And some is a little bit of both. But going from bottom to the top for me, Sawdust is at number 8, Day and Age is at 7, Hot Fuss at 6, Battleborn at 5. Like, I could not tell you a song from Battleborn, but I remember listening to it being like, I'm really enjoying this. Like, I was doing something. I might have been doing some writing at the time, and I was like, this is doing it for me. This is really good. This is really fun. Pressure Machine at 4. I have to shout out, I loved listening to this album, and I listened to the unabridged version. I really liked it. I don't think it would have quite hit the same without like the monologues and such. But I'm like, this is like the anti-Sam's Town, where Sam's Town is, you know, it is about growing up, and it's about like wanting to leave your town, but also having that nostalgia. This is about almost like being trapped in your town, and just some of like the dark side of small town life. I just find that like a really interesting flip. I really liked Pressure Machine. Wonderful Wonderful at 3, Sam's Town at 2, and Imploding the Mirage at 1. Because I had said this, I think, in a CTT video. Maybe it was in my room, so it was an RTT. But I had brought up that Imploding the Mirage was the only album I had listened to that just didn't do it for me. Because I do remember I was doing some other stuff. Like, I was doing some laundry. I think I was sending some emails. Like, I had to have a conversation with my dad about something. I don't even remember. It was just like something pretty quick. And afterwards, I was like, okay. Some of these other albums, like Battleborn and Wonderful Wonderful, I was doing other stuff during, and I could still appreciate the album. So maybe I shouldn't give Imploding the Mirage that other chance. But genuinely, I feel like I just wasn't engaging with it. And that was a me problem, not an album problem. So I'm gonna listen to it again. We're gonna try. And I was listening to it. I think I was doing the dishes. I was kind of doing some menial tasks at work, like a lot of like downloading documents, uploading, like got to download from our file to put in Dropbox kind of stuff. I was like, this is going to take a long time, and I'm just kind of going to be sitting here doing nothing, waiting for this. Let me go ahead and re-listen to that album. And as I was doing it, I was like, oh, I love this. I feel like I'm going on this like crazy spiritual journey listening to this song. Or like, you know, this album, like to these songs. This is fantastic. Maybe, so I'm like, I feel a little unfair because I gave it an extra chance and it paid off. I'm like, it's aside from Hot Fuss, because I've listened to it before, this is the only album I listened to more than once, and it ended up being my favorite. Maybe there's like that kind of bias in there, but I really liked it, and I really liked all of them as a whole. So the last thing I want to say, because I did this with Migment and I did it with MCR. Or I'm like, now that I've listened to the, now that I've listened to all their albums, their discography, I was trying to say album discography at the same time, it didn't work. What is my overall thought, aside from just like, I liked it? It's like, what seems to be their overall theme or like their mission statement from The Killers? And this one, I'm like, I feel like I kind of have it, but I'm not sure how to articulate it. Yeah, I played around with it for a bit. But I think what I realized for me is that there's a lot of empathy in these songs. Like, there's a lot that I just listening to, I was like, ooh, I feel that one. Ooh, I feel that one. Like I said, I can't remember a song from Battleborn, but I remember having those moments. I remember having moments like that in Wonderful, Wonderful. And their songs touch on a lot of aspects of life. Not all of them are pleasant. Like, you've got things like, Wanderlust for wanting to get out of your town, and like, that's pleasant. But then you get some of the stuff in Pressure Machine, like suicide or dealing with the death or underbelly in a small town. You get jealousy. There's a lot of that in Hot Fuss. You got the Murder Trilogy. You have nostalgia. You have dealing with masculinity. That's like the entire, thematic purpose of Wonderful, Wonderful, and it's great. You have spirituality and faith. There's a lot of aspects of what it means to be human. So for me, what I have is the mission statement of The Killers is, it's hard being human, but we're all doing our best. And I feel like for me, that sums them up pretty well. And yeah, I mean, to me, being able to reference one of my favorite songs by them in their mission statement, Human, works pretty well. But overall, I had a really good time listening to this group. I don't know if they have any albums coming up anytime soon. I don't know if they have a tour anytime soon. No, I think that's about it. So I'll see you in the next one.